This conference will now be recorded.
All right, we stand and to the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for its stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
O Lord, as we gather this day, we report business to the people of the village of Owego. Grant us wisdom, compassion, and understanding. Amen. And we'd also like to have a moment of silence for somebody that just lost over the weekend. Here is Charlie Truman. And Eric, you want to say anything about Charlie real quick? Within a couple minutes.
You want me to cry again?
No.
Everybody.
Charlie will be missed. His funeral's Saturday, 1 till 3 calling hour.
Thank you. All right, as you can see, Mayor Mike is not here. I think he's online. He should be online. If not now, maybe later. But I'm Charles, Deputy Mayor, overseeing this. As you may know, I know a lot of you are here for the same reason. Social media, I believe, has blown this out of proportion. We'll probably build this as the village board against chicken lovers. That's not what this is all about. As a matter of fact, we were given information about a complaint about rodents, which led to an infestation of predators, bobcats, and what else? Bobcats, bears, yeah. Oh my. Weasels, all those.
Just the chicken.
So the thing was, we wanted to find a solution to fix this problem. We wasn't sure. There's no band and all this. So before TMZ comes bursting through the door with paparazzi, I just wanted to say that we are just providing a forum for discussion. Nothing's going to be done in stone tonight. We just want to make sure that we have information that needs to be given before a proper decision can be made. So if you came here tonight to throw insults or eggs at the board members, please don't. But however,
Very good at it.
however, I would ask for donations of anything that might have in the pocket that you want to throw. And I'm not partial to just eggs, chicken. Okay, so just want to let you know. I mean, in all seriousness, we're all adults here, and all I ask is that we are kind to each other and in a respectful manner. I haven't attended most of the meetings with the people that's been concerned of this. My co people who work with me, co-trustees, Fran and Terry, they spoke to a couple individuals, so they have a lot of information. So at this moment, I would like to open this up to public comment. Oh,
Could I have
yeah,
one quick
sure.
This is not supposed to devolve into some back and forth shouting match. The public floor is to talk to the board, say what you think. It's not supposed to get where there's a side and a side and you start going back and forth. Please don't do that kind of thing. The other thing is, we don't know anybody, but for our records, when you stand to address, tell us who you are and where you live.
Thank you, trustee. So I believe Terry has some things you might want to
Yeah.
say.
I want to thank Cornell Correct.
Okay, the meeting's halted.
The Tioga County Health Department, and he's going to talk to us real quick a little bit on the beginning of public comment. You know, there is nothing set in stone. There are lots of things in play here. There's New York state laws. There's floodplain management, so there's certain things that we have to put in because of floodplain management, which we didn't even really think of at the beginning. And then like, if you're looking for a coop, you might need to have it secured in the floodplain. So things like that. So there's a lot in play, so please be patient with us while we do our due diligence and try to figure out how to do the best. So Dan?
Wait, hold on, but before Dan jumps into this, this is Nate, our attorney, like to say something.
Oh, thank you.
So, Harry maybe alluded to it, but I just want to be clear. The village has not drafted a law yet. There is no existing draft. There have been conversations, but we do not have something that we can put in front of you, the public, and say, oh, here's what's being adopted. The committee has had discussions with myself and others in the community about what a law could look like. I have not yet put it together because they're still doing their due diligence and gathering information and tell me, okay, this is what a good law that they think will look like. When that finishes, when we have a draft, it will be in front of the village board, who will schedule a public hearing on it if they so choose. At which point, you folks will have the opportunity to come for the public hearing and say anything you want about the draft local law. You know, so to the extent that a lot of you are here tonight to talk about this, I'm sure the board welcomes those comments. You will have a formal opportunity and an actual draft of a law to actually comment on in the future. You know, again, we don't have that tonight. So I just wanted to be clear about that in case people are wondering what the village is thinking of doing or not doing, and are they going to ban or not ban, or what the restrictions are. They don't know yet. It hasn't been put together.
So we're not trying to start a war. We got 3 world leaders right now trying to stop a war. We're not trying to start one. So,
My name is Dan Scherer. I'm with State and Health Department. I'm Environmental Health Director. And what I'm going to talk about today, very briefly, is what is in our sanitary code already on animals and fowl. And I'm going to read it verbatim, and then I'm going to explain what it really means. So,
Could you stand up?
Sure. I can actually walk over here. So what's actually written, it's under section 6 of Tioga County Sanitary Code. Animal or fowl excreta shall not be deposited, accumulated, or piled within 50 feet of the residence or well of another person or owner, nor within the same distance of any streams, watercourse, body of water that borders or crosses another property. Animal or fowl excreta shall not be deposited, accumulated, or piled in any place or any manner that it would allow to pollute any body of water, stream, or watercourse. Number 3, animal waste shall not be accumulated, piled, or deposited in any manner which would create a nuisance detrimental to the health. Now, what's important about this is it's already written in our code, and when you're deciding what you're going to write in yours, obviously we have to align with what the county's is. Now, what does this mean? This is for chickens, dogs, cats, any animals. It just means that you can't accumulate large amounts of fecal matter within 50 feet of someone's home or their property line. So if your dog is going to the bathroom and it's right on the fence and the fence is on the other side, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about accumulating large amounts where it can actually smell. And this isn't just for the village, this is for the entire county, because we were having issues with somebody with 20 acres and they took the whole pile of all the fecal matter and plopped it right next to their neighbor's home purposely. And so that's the first part of it, is the smell, having it there. But sometimes rodents are actually attracted to this, and it can become a rodent issue. And that's when the health department actually gets involved, and we'll come out there and make a friendly visit. I don't know if anyone has any questions about Tioga County Sanitary Code or not.
What section is it?
So this is under section 6 of the animal waste, and I just quoted number 2 and number 3. And so it's animal or fowl. So this could be, if somebody's piling their dog fecal matter next to your house and you can smell it, it would be the same exact thing, whether it's a chicken, dog, a cat, horse. So it's fairly simple. It's only 2 blips in there. So does anyone have any questions about that? It's online, go to the Tioga County website, you should see any questions that you may have.
Well, yes, I'm just wondering about a compost pile. I mean, when we have, when we clean out the chicken coop, we put it on where we've been putting a pile of weeds, and we'd have to have a fairly large space, and nobody's house is really near it, but I just wonder if,
As long as it's not 50 feet. So if I had a complaint from a neighbor and they could smell it, that would be an issue if you were under 50 feet. If that makes any sense.
there's a yard of an unoccupied house that might possibly be 50 feet, but I could move a few feet.
As a best practice, to just dispose of any animal or chicken or fecal matter and just dispose of it and not use that as your compost and just compost regular items.
But it's very good, once it breaks down. I mean,
Oh, I know.
It's mixed with hay and straw in the first place.
If you can make it so that it doesn't bother your neighbor, and it
Okay.
doesn't create rodent problems, then more power to you.
Can you see me? This is Laura Young.
I
I
can,
have- Hi guys, I don't know what I did to the phone. I can't see anybody. I have a question too. When you have a rodent infestation, I know it falls under code in the village. My question is simple. It's also a health issue. And does the health department get involved as well for, say, a poisoning if you have a person who won't fix the problem, but it's clearly, I mean, rodents carry diseases, we all know that. So could you answer my question?
yeah, so if you believe you have a rodent infestation, I'm gonna come out, take a look, see what signs I see, and then, I'm gonna ask you for proof of it. A lot of times people will, take their phones out, show me a recording at night, 1, 2, 3. An infestation would be not just one rodent, so I'd have to see like a colony of them coming by, and then we would get the Board of Health, if needed, involved with it. After proof, that's the key.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Does anybody else have, yes?
I do.
What's your name?
My name's Andrea Jones. I live in the Halsted development, and I'll make it as quick as I can so everybody has a chance to talk that wants to. The first thing I want to mention is that the person who initially requested a total ban on livestock and poultry within the village approached me just a few days ago to tell me that they're actually in support of responsible chicken keeping in the village. I do have that in writing if it's necessary to submit that for the public record. But the wording of the petition she originally brought stated they would accept nothing less than complete prohibition of anyone raising animals in the village, so we mobilized to address that. I want to also quickly address the claim that the occasional sale of our surplus eggs has been referred to as running a business, and that we should move to the country to do that. We are not running a business selling eggs. We could never hope to recuperate our investment by selling eggs from our backyard flock. When my kids were homeschooling, they cared for the flock themselves and they kept any money from surplus egg sales. It was part of their learning. This is not a commercial operation, which is typically inhumane and something we're strongly against. That's the whole reason we have chickens. Sir. It is perfectly legal for me to sell my surplus eggs as long as I follow certain standards, which I do. On the predator issue, in almost 8 years of raising chickens, the only predator we've personally dealt with is a Cooper's hawk because our chickens are visible from above. Keeping backyard chickens doesn't mean that foxes and other predators are going to be invading the village. People living closer to wooded areas or the river may need extra security measures, but the public's not at risk of rogue predators because of households that raise chickens. And a point I want to make is that, to my understanding, the village already has rules in place, just a couple, regarding chicken keeping. You can't have a rooster and you can't let your chickens roam off your property. This is what any of us who called code before getting chickens were told. Those rules already address the two most common concerns about noise and mess. It seems to me it would make more sense to simply enforce those rules we already have than to create new restrictions that punish responsible keepers. There are also rules in place that empower the village to take action with nuisance conditions or sanitation concerns at individual properties, regardless of livestock or poultry ordinances. If the board decides to set a limit on the number of hens, and preferably you wouldn't, I would ask you to please consider individual lot sizes when making that decision. Following the general guideline of 10 square feet of run space per bird, I could comfortably and humanely keep far more than I would ever actually want. But the issue with limiting people to a very small number of hens, when some of my older hens stop or slow down their laying, I'm not going to cull them because their production changes. These are our pets. When it comes time to replace my layers, ag supply stores won't sell fewer than 6 at a time. That's a New York State law. If the restrictions are too tight, it makes it impossible to continue keeping chickens without either breaking the law or making inhumane choices, which neither is good for our community or for animal welfare. Over the past couple weeks, I've been talking to neighbors all over the village about responsible chicken keeping. The response has been overwhelmingly positive. In fact, we did a couple petitions. We collected pen to paper. On our pen to paper petition, we have 89 signatures from village residents. And our online petition, we got 98 signatures. And I was able, to the best of my ability, to confirm that 62 of them are residing in Owego. I want to submit those to you tonight.
Yes, we want to sign it too when you
Oh,
get
I'm going to submit it now, but, so these weren't just our neighbors and our friends. These are people all across the village, everyone very well informed as to what they were being asked to sign, and all supporting the right to keep chickens under fair, reasonable guidelines rather than banning them outright. So I want to submit this to the board, so it's part of the public record, and also there's a copy of everything I'm saying to you guys. This is my copy.
Should we come to that?
That's what's in the binder.
Okay.
Yep, there's a copy for everybody. So if you're here tonight to support backyard chickens, would you just raise your hand, please?
Yay!
So
I have my hand raised.
this is what community looks like. We're looking to you to keep Owego moving forward instead of taking a big step backwards. Owego was once named the coolest small town in America. And thinking about this critically and coming up with fair guardrails could reassert our status as a progressive small town. Other towns, even entire European villages, have made headlines for giving chickens to residents to help cut landfill emissions and turn food waste into fresh eggs and compost. We have the opportunity to be forward thinking like that, to be remembered for embracing sustainability, not restricting it. Please don't let fear or misinformation take us backwards. Let's move forward together and keep Owego a place that sets an example and where the solutions we choose are ones that we can all be proud of. And that's what I got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So judging by the show of hands, if everybody concurs with what she says, is there anything that she didn't say that somebody wants to say? That way we don't have a redundancy of what she just said, if everyone agrees with that.
Yeah,
I-
Yeah,
if I can stand up.
yeah, yes.
Give me.
There you go.
My name's Chris Peterson, wife of Susan. We lived in the village. How long?
Since 95.
We're refugees from New York City,
Oh, my.
Brooklyn.
Same.
So there's a couple things that didn't get mentioned that I thought were kind of interesting. That would be interesting. One is when the predators were eating our flock, which they pretty much destroyed it at this point. Weasels, I think. We were donating our eggs to the rural ministry and to the Open Door Mission. Lots of them. So there's that to be considered too. I mean, and these are very superior eggs. If you all know the French chef Jacques Pepin. I know him. Do you, Rusty? You know. Come on, admit it. You know Jacques.
I've been to his house.
Very nice, I'm sure. He wrote a book about chicken. And he says, and this is obvious to anybody who's had these eggs, that these are really superior. And I'm knocking all these. I really was wanting them to come. Very happy that they got it. But their eggs are pathetic. The whites flow out like a river, like the river out there. And the yolks are pale, and they're faute de mieux, as Jacques Pepin would say. They're better than nothing, you know. But so, I mean, this is another aspect of this that hasn't been brought out. And the eggs are so superior. I'm not a nutritionist or whatever, so I can't tell you. I can't give you anything scientific about it, but as an ex-chef, I'll tell you, they are far superior. Another thing is, historically, when we first came up here, I was trying to make this too long. I'm trying to make it amusing, but not too long. We lived up on West Creek Road in the town of Newark Valley. I learned how to pronounce it, by the way. Newark Valley, we downstate.
Yeah, go on.
So we found somebody was complaining about the manure spreader leaving manure on the road. And we knew Carl Brink, the late Carl Brink, who ran 3 dairy farms on West Creek Road. And he told us that this person who's complaining about the manure being left on the roads didn't realize that that's why the roads are there. The roads are there because the farmers were there first. And people who came up from the city, myself excluded, yourself excluded, we realized that, you know, we're strangers in a not too strange land, but a very pleasant land. But we can't export Brooklyn values, not all of them anyway, to a rural community. So I realize we have to obey the laws of the state of New York so far, but well, the ones that they catch us at disobeying. But there is something to be said for rural values. And I want to put one more point, and I try to my computer skills are zilch, so I try to print out something. During the First World War, there were posters put up about, sort of like the Victory Gardens in the Second World War. Well, they had that in the First World War too. And there were things put out by the United States encouraging people to raise chickens in their backyards for the war effort. Now,
They even said, no yard is too small to raise a few chickens.
Mm-hmm.
and if you look at the advertisements in New York, we might call them advertisements, but we're not. We're just advertisements for houses in Binghamton in the 30s. One selling point would be if the house had a chicken coop. So sometimes there's an advance that's not an advance. I just want to bring this stuff up because there's just some additional things. I'm sorry for being long-winded. She's telling me to say that. I yield.
I would love to stay.
I would like to say something.
You're fine. Hey, hang on, Laura.
Okay, thank you.
My name's Tamara Gates. I live over on Fifth Ave. And we decided to have chickens for 2 reasons. One is food quality. Those eggs that you buy at Aldi's or any place are frequently about 2 months old.
This is true.
The eggs that we hatch in our own yard are used within a week or properly canned. But there's another issue, and that is, for me, it is emotional. They're almost like emotional support animals for me. I can't get out easily.
For you.
And it's a comfort for me to hear them talking with each other. It's a comfort for me to get one out of, we have a run, and pet it and give it treats. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that looks at them as being part of my well-being, both for quality of food and for the entertainment, my chickens. We have them in a run, we have a coop, we do compost, of course. Everyone who has chickens does. We've tried to be responsible owners by using breeds that are heirloom, which means they have better immune systems. By getting quiet ones instead of loud ones. We've done everything that we possibly can to be responsible. So to have it become illegal at this point for me would be devastating. I yield.
And that's what we're trying to avoid. We want to avoid that, like I said.
I, I'd like to speak.
Laura, go ahead.
Yeah, Lori Young. First off, I think I have to eat crow. There was no mention anywhere that there was an infestation, and so a lot of people just didn't understand why the suddenness about chickens and keeping chickens came up. First off, I think that we're very close in the village to each other. Many of us, Southside has more room. I have a pretty big yard. My chickens are happy. But okay, first off, one of the reasons why homegrown eggs taste better, and people do not realize this. I've gone to factory farms when I worked for the government to see conditions. And those eggs that come out of the factory farms literally are set in bleach to begin with before they go in cartons, before they go out to the shells. They are often, like someone has just said, they could be a month old, but they're sitting in bleach. Bleach is a known carcinogen. Okay, the second thing I wanted to bring up is I belong to a group out of Trumansburg. Our job is to our job as we see it is to keep genetic DNA of heritage birds alive. And what that requires is, and there are breeds that have roosters that do not crow often or loudly. We are literally trying to save breeds of chickens. So what happens is very simply is I have a rooster from a heritage group. My rooster services other hens elsewhere. My rooster services my hens, and we rotate roosters and hens to make sure we have as much diversity in that genetic stock. This is a very serious thing. And I know most people would say, I look globally. I look too at we're losing enough species. And this is my one way of making sure it continues. Secondly, I talk to all my neighbors, and I live right around the street from the eggery, which will be back in business next year, and her rooster crows. It doesn't bother anyone here. It doesn't. But when you have a rooster, if there are complaints about roosters crowing, there's one very easy way to fix it. And it's called boxing. And you get like a dog-sized kennel. You put your roosters in there, and you don't let the rooster out until I'm sorry, I have a cold. After the time people can start doing construction in the village is 7 a.m. You wouldn't bring the chicken out, let the chicken out until after 7 a.m. or even later. If people are up and moving and getting going by 8 o'clock in the morning. This is a very, very easy solution to the rooster question, too. And I haven't had any vermin. I keep my food inside the house and bring it out with me, but I have had no problems with predators either. And I'm just sorry for the people who had to live next to, the owner that did not take care of the birds. And that makes me very sad. Um, and I want to say thank you for being so rational about this. I know the only code we do have, I have a code book, was made in 1969, and it just is the same as dogs, which is chickens shouldn't be running at large. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you,
Thank
Laura.
you.
Hi, I'm Kayla French. This is my daughter Aria French. We live on Delphine Street, and we wanted to come talk tonight. We had a couple points that everybody else has made, but the biggest thing for us, my kids raise their birds for 4-H, which makes me emotional because it's very near and dear to my heart. This is something that if there were to be a restriction, a ban, versus just parameters for responsible ownership, would not only deeply affect my children, and their ability to participate in this program that does so much for them and for other kids in the community. But for other FFA members and other village kids that participate in 4-H where they're one of the only things that you really can raise in a small space. That's the only thing that they would be able to participate to do as far as animals go in 4-H. And I mean, I had a lot of other points that Andrea already made, which were great points. But I wanted to give her a chance to kind of talk about her chickens for a minute.
I wanted to talk tonight because I love my chickens very much. I've been taking care of them since they were tiny babies, just little fluffy chickens that fit in my hand. I feed them, give them water, clean their coop, and make sure they are safe every single day. My chickens are my friends. They know me, and they follow me around in their run. Sometimes they even sit on my lap while I read or play. I love gathering their eggs and helping my family cook breakfast with them. It feels good to know we are eating food that I help take care of. If the village makes rules that say we can't keep our chickens, or that we can only keep a few, I might have to give some of them away or they could be hurt. That would make me very, very sad because I've raised them with love and hard work to keep them happy and healthy. Please, I'm asking you to think about kids like me who love their animals. Chickens are not just food for us, they are family. They are part of how we learn to be kind and take care of living things. I hope you can make rules that let families like mine keep raising chickens safely, so kids like me don't lose our feathered friends. Thank you for listening.
Yay!
I
Yay!
think that right there says it all. If nobody's gonna follow that, that's grand.
This is not this chicken law is not a sudden thing. We've talked about it for a number of years and never really moved forward seriously on it. The point that the board, the village is concerned about is some people are not good neighbors with their chickens and some of them do not take care of their birds properly. So that's where we're coming from.
One final thought?
Okay, I'm Cut Frisbee, I'm president of Owego County Farm Bureau. And I applaud you for not rushing into a quick solution to this.
Oh, yeah.
But this is a draft that we presented. We are, Owego County Farm Bureau is working to do right to farm language in every town in the county. We've done it in Nichols, Tioga, Barden, and Spencer. Those towns have adopted these laws. That's taken out of Ag and Markets playbook. And what we're asking you is, you can use that as a template to look at as you go forward and make whatever you do. And we, as a farm group, we're glad to sit on board and tell you our side of the story. I'm not sure how many there sit on the board are full-time farmers, but most of us are. We're more than happy to help you draft the document, do it right the first time. So anytime you need some help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this is, the first part. The second part is, public hearing. Explain.
Well,
We don't have a law.
The next part is actually put a law together.
Could I make one more comment because I'm confused about
Wait,
something?
we're trying to move this along, Laura. You can
Yeah,
talk to me.
I'll be incredibly brief.
Okay.
I was looking for I ordered the original Owego charter, which I can't find anywhere local. I then went through code and looked for animals, and what I thought was kind of confusing is that I couldn't find any laws at all that covered the goats on Green Street or other things. So I was just wondering, when you guys are doing this, you might want to consider other animal species that are here, that are in the village and are much bigger than chickens. And that's all I have to say.
Thanks, Laura.
So Charles, your question was, what's the next steps? The next step is drafting a local law. There's a committee of trustees, it's Fran, Terry, and Charles. One of the things that they as a committee might choose to do is have an open meeting with people to workshop the draft. That's something that they as a committee will do, and if they choose to do that, you'll see a notice probably posted on the village's website, maybe published in the paper, but that's a committee choice. Whatever the committee ends up producing a law, will come to the village board. It'll be introduced to the village board. We'll have a preliminary discussion about whether this is something that the board would like to entertain further. I mean, obviously, they're moving along, so theoretically, there's some support, but we don't know what the draft looks like yet. And then if the board chooses to schedule a public hearing, again, there will be public notice about that on the website and in the newspaper. And the draft law, of course, will be on the website as well for the public to review, and then you folks get a chance to come again and actually, again, comment on the specific law or not. That's the next step, Charles.
Thank you. So as you can see, you guys are here out of concern, right? So you guys will be actually helping to draft the law. See how that goes? I don't think there's anybody who were not following the guidelines of chickenology are here tonight.
Where's the mayor? Mr. Mayor?
Chicken?
Mr. Mayor? Mr. Mayor,
Yeah.
this gentleman would like to.
Oh, there you go.
I just want to say something really quick. My name is Elliot Jones, and I live on Woodlawn Avenue. I kind of wanted to go based on what they were saying. I've been raising chickens since I was like, what, 6? Yeah. And there's been this one chicken in particular. I've raised her just since she was like born. And her name is Fuzzy. And pretty much every day I go up into my yard and I give her treats, and she'll come right to me and she'll let me pick her up. She'll squat for me, and lots of great memories ever since she was born. I'd pick like pieces of like seed from they're called flock blocks. They're like little blocks of just compacted seed. And I pick it for her, and she'd come run it up and feed it to her. So yeah, just she's your pet. Yeah, she's basically my pet, and I wouldn't want her to be taken away. So
All right.
that's all I gotta say.
I think we should end this now before I lose my appetite on chicken. I don't want to eat them anymore. Okay, so, in conclusion?
Charles, as we go on, to say something, Andrea, along with what Ms. Young said. In our code, we don't have hardly anything about animals, and there is one section that does say animals and fowl can't run at large.
Right.
Other than that, there's nothing about roosters, there's nothing about anything, just that one phrase.
That's just what code told
I
me.
wasn't aware there was a rule against roosters. I like.
There is not.
It's
Not
a,
yet?
I
basically
just
a
said
noise.
the only thing in the code is that fowl cannot run at large. That's the only thing that we have.
So how come we just don't stick to that law? Why do we need another one?
That's a good question, and it's up to the board to decide when there's a local law that gets introduced.
Yeah, but isn't it based on us, the people of the village? We don't want the law for that.
Yeah, you'll have, I mean, if that's the feedback from the public, then that's certainly the feedback, but it's ultimately the village board that makes the decision to move
Why
the
not?
law forward.
So why not stop now? Why pushing it further than this? When is enough is enough?
When we get rid of the village.
I'm sorry.
So Terry, you're in contact, right? And I
We
guess you could be like, labeled like the spokesperson. You'll trickle down the information.
Sure.
Okay, so she'll let you know, and everyone else will know what the next step is, and you could all be involved. This is what I call a village. It takes a village. And this is a perfect example. I want to thank all of you for being civil, being
Of
kind.
course.
and-
Thank
and
you.
everything. Okay, so, unless you want to stay for the rest of this show.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna have people on my, messenger, you know, when we talk on there or no? Yeah, yeah.
Like the one that we're here.
We can go up there and study.
What's your budget? Oh, no, it's not great. What's your budget?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thanks.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
I don't know how long, but you're welcome. There's still, you can comment.
Well, I know, say for your peppermint patty, I mean, I'll show you pictures.
Thank you. So, if there's anybody else that would like to make any, public comment on anything other than the chickens or chickens?
I
Yeah,
would,
we're gonna get to that.
Okay, you stay for that
Yeah,
and comment on the light.
I just wanted to know if there was any other public comment.
yes, this is
Other
Laura
than-
again. I would just like to ask, that we take a look again at our website, our Village of Owego website, because there are things that are missing on it. Like the address for the clerk treasurer where you can request freedom of information. And there were just some other things, like we're Preserve America community. We're only 1 in 1,500 in the whole country. We should have our original charter up on there as well. And that was my only other suggestion.
All right.
Thank
Laura.
you.
We have our treasurer here. He heard you and wrote down what you said. We'll look into that.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Is there anything else, any other topics other than chickens, and we're gonna get to the lights? Okay, all right. So, public comment is now closed, and we're gonna move on to the next topic of discussion in old business, and that is the traffic light at Church and Main Street.
Let's clear it out. You didn't want to do that.
Can we can do department head reports first and then get back? Yeah, let's
It's up
do
to
that.
you, it's up to you.
Let's do that.
We don't have to put my head tonight. Yeah.
No department heads?
It's the second, it's the second week.
Okay, and they're not
I
here,
didn't
so
get a
we don't have
report
any
from
issues other than,
We didn't get
what was submitted via email.
Online. Do you record it?
Later.
Okay, all right, so I guess we move on to the discussion now.
There were no communication. It's just
No communications. There we go, no business, right along. Put the pedal to the metal. All right, so we have our traffic committee, right?
Well, we do have a traffic committee.
So,
Yes.
so Charles, I, in response to the board's request, prepared a draft local law that would remove, change that intersection at Church and Main to a four-way stop. Stop signs at each of the four intersection points. If the board would like to move this forward, then a motion to schedule a public hearing on the draft local law for your next meeting would be appropriate. And then that would kind of be it for the discussion if you folks want to move forward to that.
Okay. Would that answer the question that you was about to ask?
Yes, that would actually, yes.
Okay, doing something about
We're
it.
members of the First Baptist Church, and I'm the Kind Project, we run the Kind Project, and I'm always going down that street. I have to pull out so far when there's any cars parked, because you can't see. So, I mean, I'm pulling out to the middle of the, and I'll make sure nobody's coming this way so I can see, because your streets are not lined up completely.
Right.
And when you have any parking opposite of the theater, you cannot see, especially the big trucks they park, like pickup trucks, you can't see. And I've almost been clipped there a few times because some people really go pretty fast down through there. And I don't care if there's a blinking yellow light, they still fly.
They move with caution, but when they think it's the right of way. People believe it's the right of way.
And you know what, if you put it's a four-way stop, but you're gonna have to monitor that because people are gonna, it's gonna take a while to get used to that.
I just wanted to ask the other young lady, you said, who thinks what's the right way? I lost you.
When they're going, when the blinking light, so people going down Main Street.
Correct.
And they fly by, I mean, they don't, I always.
They do have the right
They do
way.
have the right,
They go
but
fast.
they go so fast.
If that light was still there, and it was a green light, they'd be
Right.
going
Right.
through that.
But it's
Right.
dangerous.
But it's very, but we would all understand that. However, like I said, I understand that they have the right of way, but when there's traffic all the way to the corner and you can't see, it's the speed at which they're going. They don't slow down
the least bit. Because there is a blinking yellow light now.
Right.
With the caution.
It just says,
They're not.
they're not slowing down. I've almost gotten hit numerous times. And I inch very slowly every time because I am aware that cars just fly down.
It's fine when there's no parking, nobody
Right.
parking there, like
Okay,
Sunday
so-
mornings.
All right, so we
It's fine.
established that. We have anybody that's gonna make a motion?
Make a motion. We're not
We
gonna
don't
discuss
have to
it.
go back and forth with that.
We don't have to go back and forth with the audience.
You could take it to the side and talk to that
What?
at another time.
What's that?
Trying to make a
Yeah,
motion. They won't let me.
making the motion.
Schedule a public hearing.
I'd like to make a motion to schedule a public hearing for local draft law number, whatever this is gonna be, for the first meeting in September.
I'll second it.
All right, so we have any discussion?
Yes. Maybe for a week and a half of discussion. Yes, there's discussion on this. So first of all, we have a draft going forward to remove the parking spots, and one in front of the theater, one on the other side of the street, that make it difficult to see up the street when you come out of church. So we're already on notice to be doing that so you can see better. That's the first thing. Second thing, we have the Binghamton Metropolitan Transportation Study of that intersection. I've given a copy to all the trustees. And their recommendation is the preferred stop condition for this intersection would have a two-way stop signs on Church Street, and Main Street would be uncontrolled, being the, I'm trying to see, allows the traffic on Main Street to flow because it's the through street. That's the recommendation of the traffic folks that studied this specifically for us.
So what was the point of the red light?
What's the point of the red light?
If they don't think we should have stop signs, what's the point of the red light?
Their thing was to talk about, their study was the intersection and if we were going to remove the red light. That's what their study was. Their study was, is the red light necessary? And they have what they call warrants and decisions about whether the red light would be necessary or not. They said that it's certainly our choice whether we want to have it or not, but it's not necessary. And if we were to remove it, that would be the preferred way to run that intersection. That was there, and these folks are the safety people. We're not the safety people, they're the safety
They
people.
want us to have 6 accidents before we do
They
anything.
don't live
That sounds
here.
real safe.
These safety people don't live here. And if they made a study, the study in one day does not accumulate what happens here all year round. We live here.
Yes, we
see
do.
that, see
Yes, we do, and there's
So
a
they can
difference.
make their study and they can tell us whatever they want.
There's a difference of opinion about this. And we have a traffic and safety committee. And we have given the recommendation to the board, which is not to have the four-way stop sign. And that we have 3 people that were on that committee had that recommendation and 1 person did not. That's the recommendation from this traffic and safety committee. That's what we do. We can have the four-way stop. It can be done. It's not that it can't be done.
Well, it's something that should be done.
Well, you just said it's something that should be done. That's interesting. So you've decided that intersection is unsafe.
Most definitely. Or we're
Okay.
gonna wait till somebody gets hurt, do something drastically? I think not. I think we should nip that in the bud. We have the opportunity to remedy something before it happens. A crystal ball moment.
And others believe that that's not an unsafe intersection. When we remove the vehicle parking in a particular place, others believe this. That intersection is just fine with 2 stop signs and Main Street flood. We have put the police radar data gathering machine there to see, because people think that they're going too fast there. I've already studied that thing for years. I went down that street again 5 times here in the last 2 weeks at 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 to feel, are people going that fast through that intersection? And we're assembling the data to see if they are.
Deputy Mayor, I move that discussion and just.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
You want to call the question, sir?
I do, yes.
Because you don't want to discuss this at all, sir.
Because you've discussed it for 2.5 years, it's been too long. You will have another chance to discuss this during the public hearing in September.
So we'll have that public hearing, we have the motion, and now we're gonna vote. Fran,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Rusty?
I have a question, sir. Are we voting on calling the question, or are we voting on the question?
Voting on having.
Mr. Attorney?
Well, it'll be a vote to call a question, so this is the vote to then vote. So are you all in favor of ending discussion and then?
This vote is ending the discussion.
Yes, so you want to end the discussion and then actually vote, so you're all still yeses. Just so Rusty, or excuse me, Rod is clear on what's happening in the minutes.
No more discussion, that's the vote.
Ron?
Yes.
Laura?
No.
No.
I say yes.
Great, let's end the discussion then. Good.
Vote to schedule a public hearing.
Here we go. Anybody has make a motion?
But it's already been made.
It's been made. Fran?
Yes.
Rusty?
No.
Laura?
No.
Terry?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
You got a yes from me. So, therefore, there'll be a hearing.
Ron, did you make the time and date of the public hearing? I don't remember.
I said the first meeting in September. I think they were given.
I'm just,
The
it
problem-
needs to be in there, yeah, whatever your verbiage is.
It'll be 9/2 because it'll be Tuesday meeting
Yeah.
because of Labor Day's the first.
All right, so that concludes old business.
Do you want to have a separate discussion on the foul and foul?
I think we totally enough of it.
On the agenda is the board discussion. I'm not sure that there's a lot to discuss. But just confirming.
All right, so we confirming that, so we have to go any further in discussion with the foul law?
I think we just need to look at what FEMA said and kind of get a feel for that maybe. And then if Nate's here on Friday morning, Nate, I'll send you an email.
Okay, sounds good.
Personally find it unfortunate that bad owners are ruining it for people who are responsible.
It
They
is.
have to accommodate the lesser of.
Right. And I don't know who the lady was in purple who spoke last. I felt kind of bad because she seemed like, why do we have to have anything? But I feel like we do need something in place because there's been issues that have cropped up over time. And it's silly to just let it keep kind of floundering about. So.
I would say that lot size, I mean, potentially right now, I could have 200 chickens on my 50-foot yard. and-
Right.
Which is irresponsible.
Correct.
And that's why all laws are made, is because of some irresponsible person.
Yeah. Well, and I think giving some guidelines probably will make the people who care for their chickens feel better, because then they will know that other people's chickens kind of have to also be kept the same.
Even though they're responsible, irresponsible will bring the weasels, the foxes, the whatever. It's a danger for all of them involved.
And no, I tried to point out that the reason we're discussing this is because there are people who are not good neighbors, who are not taking care of their animals.
So as you folks are gonna continue to develop this law, if you were listening to these people, there's we'll call it a disagreement about the quantity of chickens. That was not a one size fits all even from this group. That was a thing. There was also a thing, and this was a thing we were talking about doing, and we do have some complaints about this, which are legitimate, and that's about roosters. So some people here want to have the roosters still, I get it, but that was something when we kind of started this, we had a number of citizens not happy of being woken up at 3 or 4 in the morning with roosters. So anyway, that's another
And
thing that's not clear about where to go.
And that falls under the nuisance.
Sorry?
And that falls under the nuisance issue, because it's a noise nuisance. So, I mean, yeah, that's a little.
There are definitely continued discussions by the community to be had about, all of these issues, but we're working.
Yep.
No, we're waiting for information from FEMA too. We got the information from the county. Trying to collect all the pertinent information.
Thank you. Thank you for your time in doing that. I wasn't able to attend that.
Not a problem.
Weird question.
Yeah,
There are
we've
chickens
had-
that large, how the hell do we know who owns them?
They're
I
technically,
mean, they don't have like dog collars or something like that.
I do not, you do not.
I mean, that could be a whole another potential issue.
The police or the animal control officer usually captures the chicken, and then the person who, like, usually the neighbors know exactly whose chicken it is. And then usually they want their chicken back. So that leads often to identifying the owner of the chicken.
So we fine for such thing, is if I had a dog loose?
I think there's 5.
They don't fly well. They can't jump pretty far.
6 foot, hard to jump 6 foot.
I can't jump 4 foot.
Try, don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, I was excited today about that.
all right, so we covered the lights, we covered the foul. So now we can move on to new business? All right. So we have a discussion on the Nazarene Church using Marvin Park and the pool in September. That particular day would be the 31st.
Of August.
They are using the park for armchair revival, which would consist of 3 congregations worth. I'm thinking about 600 people bringing their own armchairs. I think they have use of it.
If you that much higher.
Probably a whole lot higher because
Looking at 3
people
services in one.
bringing friends. So there's going to be a lot of people there. And the use of the pool. I think the lifeguard has already been notified. She will be showing up at 9. The actual church service will be at 10. And the pool use will be for baptisms,
This is the 31st of
the
August.
31st of August.
Not September.
Right.
I was
I was
thinking
gonna get
August.
permission for the 31st of September.
Yeah,
I'm
that's.
ready for that.
You ready?
Everybody wants
Because
to
I'll be
go
the first one.
31st of
And the
September?
September.
I'll be the first one getting baptized.
Gotcha.
True story.
I would suggest the village, we drafted a brief agreement that allows a swim instructor.
Yep, should be
I
there.
would probably say that same agreement form, if you want to allow them use of the pool, then you should have a motion to authorize an agreement with the Nazarene Church for pool use on August 31st, using the form that we previously prepared.
Anybody want to make that?
Well, is this beyond what we would normally have our lifeguards there for?
The pool's closed.
The pool closes the 27th.
Yeah, 27th, the pool's closed to the public.
Yeah,
This is just being used for
is
baptism.
the lifeguard volunteering their time?
Yes. I already spoke to the lifeguard, she's gonna be there.
We will have to pay that person.
Yeah.
Because they're a village employee.
They have to be
showing
on
up to do
premises.
work, so that's not.
Well,
not
would
all.
the
It's gonna be-
Nazarene Church be required to reimburse the village for that?
Good question. We can figure that out.
Very good question. You're gonna have to decide that.
Because it's beyond what we have a contract with the lifeguards for.
If they're gonna have like 600 people in the park, having an event, are they gonna have something for parking and some security or anything like that? And
Do we require, what level do we get to before we require the ambulance to be there? I mean, if we have a large gathering, there are,
Typically, there is coordination with the police department, fire, and EMS services for something approaching the size of a mass gathering takes place within the village.
Well, they already have police on payroll every Sunday, every service. I
Yeah.
imagine that would.
Sheriff Department.
As far as that, I mean, I honestly think it'd be more than 600 people. The church is
I do
probably
too.
about 1,000 at this point.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think the mass gathering is a definite. I'm honestly surprised, because they've been throwing this around church for quite a while, and
Yeah.
we're just now talking about this.
Yeah, it should have been.
I mean, it's like 2 weeks ago.
yeah, a week and a half away, yeah.
I mean, I love the church, but this seems really short. I assumed it was already squared away somehow.
So once again, you know, all the standard questions, Mr. Mayor,
Mike, are you there?
Mr. Mayor, all the standard questions?
Is that Michael Parada?
I don't think it is.
I don't know why we're not.
So one of the things you might consider is if you have a lot of questions for the persons organizing this event, and obviously they're not here. I don't know if I mean, it's possible it's in here and they just didn't see it, but did they submit an application that outlines like all the stuff that they're doing?
That's why I was trying to get a hold of them.
Yeah.
Because it should have been part of the agenda packet.
Yeah, that's what I should have seen.
So if that information is not in front of the board tonight, but you're interested in still like moving forward in some fashion, maybe schedule a special meeting and go to the organization and say, hey, you really need to give us a lot of information on this. We're not comfortable authorizing something.
So, Mr. Mike, or not Mike, Charles.
Yes.
I just wanted the floor. I asked you if I can speak.
Yeah.
Yes, to all the standard questions. If there's going to be 1,000 people there, that's an insurance question. I mean, there are all these questions that we ask of everybody, and we should, and we need to ask these questions of this before we just.
And I'm
say,
recalling the monster truck rally as the
Yeah.
last one. I mean, we have an agreement form from that when an organization wants to utilize the park, right? So that's probably the form that we would utilize, and you're right, Rusty, about insurance questions.
That's certainly one.
The village has a policy, excuse me, the organization has a policy that provides the appropriate coverage for the event that's taking place.
Assuming they need to get in touch
Yeah,
with
no,
the
I-
fair board
I-
for parking or something. There's a lot of
And
questions.
the Fair Board, yeah, that is, unless, yes, if we want to use the Fair Board's property for parking, just as we demand that they ask us for ours, we have to ask them for theirs. Security, I mean, when you have that many people, and yes, I understand the church people are good people and this and that, but people do whatever they do. And we don't want them parked in some place, all kinds of things like that. They're all details.
I agree.
We have a lot of work to do in a.
Short period of time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I realize it is a charitable event, but I do believe there should be a fee charge because after the event, the village may be required to do some repair work. And like I
Sure,
said,
that's probably
and
all in
parking.
place. We just haven't been privy for this information.
But.
That's why I'm trying to get a hold of Mike.
Should
He
be
probably know a whole lot.
privy to
I mean, there's
this.
huge churches.
So look at, I guess my suggestion would be, if you folks don't want to just say no to them because you want more information, then I think it's more appropriate to schedule a special meeting between now and the day of the
Yeah.
event.
Time of meeting to be determined. by
Just throw one
email.
on.
Well, I mean, the mayor or you as the deputy mayor,
Thank you.
appropriate, you just call for it, whatever you need. I mean, so somebody needs to get in touch with you and say, hey, we want information from you, X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3. And because there wasn't anything in front of the board, they had too many questions.
An application, I'm sure they have insurance and stuff, but we need to know that for certain. There's a lot of questions.
Are there, and once again, you have to ask questions. Are there any questions because we're doing it for a religious organization? All these things are the pieces.
That sounds good, but yeah, we definitely need to get that.
So I'm not sure if you folks could just pick a day next week. I'm assuming you'll take them some time to put everything together. Yeah, planning board meets on Tuesday, on the 26th, zoning board meets on Wednesday, the 27th. So this room will be
25th, next Monday. I'm pretty sure we get information within a couple
There's
of
a
days.
cemetery meeting at 5:30 on the 25th.
Also, Fran will be here.
Fran will be here.
Actually, we are not having a meeting then. We're having it, the next night at another location because
Oh, she might
the
not be here then.
chairperson could not be here. So, yeah, that is open. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I could do the 25th in the evening. If they have the information, that'd be great.
What is the question? Parking, what else?
Insurance, security, size, there's standard questions.
For the lifeguard, et
Do
cetera.
we need EMS of some sort because of the
Lifeguard.
people? We have to
Garbage disposal, I mean, that sort of stuff is on.
clean up
The big,
1,000
right,
people.
right. I mean, even
That's
just water.
speculation on my part, but I have to imagine it'll be more than 600. There's more than that at that church, and I imagine
That's putting these structures up that'll require code enforcement to.
Maybe a tent? Is there gonna be a
No.
tent?
Just bring the armchairs?
No, just bring your own chair.
Okay.
If He's gonna bring
Not
his
stage or anything?
stage. He has one for the back of the truck. I don't know if he can bring that or not. I don't know the legalities of it at all.
They bring a chair, they have to have a flood permit.
But no, and we should talk with DPW as far as what
Yeah.
he should be charged for usage because of cleanup afterwards.
I'm not expecting issues, but just like we did with Charles's people that he works with, we needed a deposit just in case.
Right.
So, everyone largely available on August 25th, though. I heard Terry. put
Yeah.
that out there.
I'll make it.
August 25th?
What time do you think? 4, 5, 6, 7,
What?
8, 9.
Keep going until we stop.
11:59.
4:30. There's nothing stopping you from doing a little earlier. We don't have to be here at 7. Just saying.
No, some of us don't have.
What fits with people's work schedule?
We could do 4:30.
I really like the 7 o'clock thing.
I mean, 7.
7 o'clock is good?
One of the few days I actually get off during the week, so I'd like to utilize most of the day.
Do we need to make a motion to have a special meeting?
The mayor, Charles, can just call for it.
Excellent.
This is just
Go
figuring
Charles.
out if you folks will be there.
Yes.
Charles, will you speak with the persons at
Yeah, I'm gonna speak to the
Church?
pastor, I'm gonna speak to everybody, I'm speaking to Mike right now. We're calling for a meeting, 25th.
25th at 7 p.m.
Okay, he'll be back for that one, right?
You gotta give, not notice, but it's letting the news media know of the special meeting.
Well, if I tell them tomorrow, they'll put it in by Wednesday.
Yeah, you don't actually have to publish the newspaper.
Well, I might.
Yeah, I mean, you got time, so.
Okay, so, I told Mike that we're gonna have a meeting. Okay, so, moving right along,
Okay, who's contacting the DPW department?
well, when Mike gets back, we're gonna do all of that stuff, everybody's gonna find out what's going on.
Well,
Yeah,
they'll have to fill out a form,
Yeah.
so I think
Yeah.
then they.
all the bit, I don't know why all this hasn't been taken care of, but it should be.
Hopefully it has.
Should be passed.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, that's what it seems like, because if they call for lifeguard to be there, I mean, that's not just a one thing,
Somebody's in the process of putting.
just a whole bunch of stuff. Okay. Discussion on releasing the green properties to interested residents to generate some revenue and alleviate DPW mowing.
I just passed you out a list of all the properties that are available.
And what is the fee schedule? I don't understand that.
I don't think there is. We
Originally,
don't have.
originally I thought we could sell them and be done with.
Right.
I talked to FEMA, they said, no, we're stuck with them no matter what, so. I don't see how we're gonna make any money on them. The only thing we can do is somehow lease it to the neighbors at $10 a year and let them take care of it.
At least we don't.
Yeah,
have
I
to
think
mow
there
it.
should be some slight fee because if anybody makes a commitment that dollar sign holds them to it, you know?
Right, but I think the neighbors take care of most of these properties. So will sidewalks.
Julie
It seems
Nucci
like
had
the-
sent out an email talking about other places do $1 a year. She wasn't sure if that
Right.
was something that was set by FEMA or
Yeah, or maybe it was just like
Right.
kind of part of the agreement.
just as we have to charge something.
Right, we have to charge something, but it was a minimal amount. I mean, I look at it as a savings if we don't have to have
Right.
people there every week mowing and taking care of
How
it.
many man hours you're saving not maintaining
Right.
those. And I assume that would also count for shoveling and snow removal as well.
Oh, yeah.
So that's another huge savings. I'd like to get some revenue, but at least we're gonna be saving something.
Right. A little harder to see it, but.
Right.
Charles?
Yes.
Mike would like to ask a question if he can.
Go for it.
Does the village really want to become a landlord?
No.
Yeah,
Because
and
what are
now,
you gonna do when they don't pay that money?
and when they
Not
don't,
taking
and when they
care of
don't
the
take care of the
property.
property.
You take it back, I guess. I don't know how that works.
Take what back, mowing it again?
It's not that easy, it's just taking it back though, because it's a lease agreement, so you're gonna need legal stuff that's gonna have.
We'd have to evict them
We gotta come up.
in order to take the property back. An eviction costs about $3,000.
It's hypothetical, but nothing on the property, it should be easy.
Well, I would,
As if they
can we
don't
say
have to
a
keep it.
year-to-year lease? Do that with apartments.
FEMA, they're.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, I mean, you can do it. It's just, there was a question of like, what's the cost, what's the process to take it back? It's an eviction.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we had a year-to-year lease and someone didn't take care of the property one year, we don't have to rent it to them the next.
Yep.
That's an easy solution.
There's still a process.
Yeah, so I mean, the
Lease,
issue,
whatever
the
you
issue
wanna
that you
call it.
probably run into is you don't renew the lease, but like with any tenant, if they fail to vacate, then you have to evict them still. And it can be kind of hard to tell if someone's vacated a lot that's supposed to be evergreen. Now, they're mowing it, so they'll continue doing it, so probably you really have to actually evict them anytime, unless they purposely say, oh, I'm not doing it anymore. So
And then
there are things to think about.
My
Yes,
other
it's
question
just,
is-
just simple.
When I looked online for the agenda, there was a list of properties that vacant and owned by the village. Why aren't they on the market?
We're not allowed to sell
Because they're
them.
not green properties. There was a list of properties that were not green. They couldn't be built on. So why is the village not selling those, getting rid of them, to get the, back on the tax rolls?
Good guy.
There's a section of houses that, or properties that can be sold again. With properties that can be built on the list. There's a mixed
Yeah,
mass of
right.
like,
I said there was a list of properties that they could be built on. They're owned by the village, so they could be built on, sell to somebody, let them build on.
So I
Get
guess.
them
The
back on
question, the question is fine, and that's why we're looking at these things.
So I guess my question to the board would be, do you folks feel like you're in a position tonight to discuss specifically what you want to do with the properties that could be leased? And then separately, are you in a position to discuss specifically what you want to do with the properties that could be built on again? And however else Rod's broken this up.
I think the answer is easy. Of course, we're not in position to do this. We haven't thought about this at all.
Well, we're talking about it now.
Yeah, I don't think we're in a position to make a decision, but like, I think we're in the gathering information mode.
Yep.
The Climate Smart Communities Task Force, we talked about it. Previously, we have, a list and there's like with a map that's, spots it out, plots it so that everybody can look and see where they are. And, I think most of us received that. And then they also had ideas for what could be done based on the locations for it. And some of our properties also are like in that Canawana area as a whole. And so there's some open space preservation stuff that we could do to earn points for money. And then there's some sample deed restrictions and things that you could put on the properties that sort of inform people about what restrictions are there for the use of the property. So that way we don't get in any trouble. Like, so it's clearly, there's like agreements that clearly stipulate how the properties can be used, like if they can have fences or not. And so when you put that, like there's a process to put that on their deeds, and there's forms through the committee that you can do it with to make it easier. So I think you could work with the committee and the county to move them along. But the planning board also talked about it some time ago, and they were all in favor of us putting the properties that we can back on the tax rolls, and especially if they can be built on.
I mean, you have that property on Fox Street that the land bank bought and then split the cost with the village of tear it down.
Yep.
And gave the land to the village, and it's still sitting over there vacant. It could be sold.
I think there's a few.
That's a pretty good nice piece of property for the village too.
It looks like the Fox Street one is a forever green.
Sure is.
This one was torn down by the land bank.
Yeah, that
There's
was
the one,
Was it East Fox or Ford Fox, or there's a bunch of different.
42 people.
one that's,
There's a big, huge
Eastern
green two-family.
Fox behind.
This,
Much across
I
from
think
the auto store.
this list is a year old, so that one came up after that, right?
See it on here.
Or something, so
But I don't
we
think
would
we
get
can buy
added.
it.
Yeah, well, Julie had
What are
It was a
maps
land
are
bank,
showing
the land
on
bank bought it
there.
from the village. Or from county.
County foreclosure, land bank got it.
Yep.
We split the cost of tearing it down, and then they said we can do what we want. Or they could take the pay what they want to pay it.
They also said that about the Spencer Street property, and I don't see that on any of these lists. I don't see the Spencer Street property on there either, where we split the cost of tearing down that house.
Yeah, that was a new one.
Doesn't matter. We have a lot of stuff to figure out on this.
Yeah, well, talk about it.
That's
Well, then keep talking about it.
On the, the green properties, is any sort of structure allowed at all?
No.
So there shouldn't be fence either.
No.
That would be a structure,
You can't park a car either and like leave it there.
right, or park a boat or a camper.
You can't have your
Well, I saw an article today, they said, you might be able to have a split rail fence, they don't want you to have like a solid fence.
I mean, that.
Well, if they're leasing
That
year
was
to
flood,
year,
that was flood stuff.
I wouldn't let them put that kind of investment in. Yeah. For a small lease every year. You don't have to put $1,000 worth of fence or more on it.
That's also whatever stipulations we have in our lease. Assuming it can be put on the property.
If you don't own the property, you can't put a fence up.
Might I suggest that because this is a very long list of properties, that
Well, if it's
instead of
stipulated,
collectively just thinking of the issue, maybe try to make this more bite-sized. And, you know, your task should maybe be, one, do you want to continue talking about this? Because if there's a majority of you that wants to, then okay, great. And the next step, do you want to focus on the properties that are not encumbered by restrictions? Because those would be the easiest ones to do anything with, because you just own them outright. You could just sell those. But, you know, maybe study that one, because that's where maybe there's more immediate benefit and attractiveness to neighbors. After we resolve those issues, then maybe I suggest moving on to the ones which have restrictions on it and really grappling with what those things are. Because there's a lot, and there's a lot of properties, and I just don't want to get you all bogged down in thinking and being overwhelmed by the size of this.
I think the easiest ones to concentrate on first are the ones we can sell. And there's no lease agreement, there's no landlord issues. And then we'll get our feet wet and we can figure out what to do with the other ones.
Yeah, I'm sure different realtors could give us a
So then,
price.
what information would you folks want about those properties that the village presumably owns outright? I mean, I guess I can look at all the deeds and just confirm.
Yeah, what's the
there's
value?
No restrictions. And then from there, maybe Rod could talk to a realtor, get an idea of like, how much money are we talking about? And then you folks, not saying you're gonna need to decide this tonight, this is just to put a bug in your ear. You have to decide how you want to go about selling. You could either list them with realtors, a realtor, and do it that way. You could do an auction. You could, list them with like Manasseh auctions and see what money you get. You could contact the neighbors and say, are you interested in purchasing this? Without a sense of like how much money these are worth. I guess we really need that initially. So I guess talking to the realtor.
The reality is, whether you can build them or not, it's probably not gonna happen since it's most likely in a floodplain issue.
Well, yeah, it'll be very cost
Right, it would
prohibitive
be-
likely, but doesn't mean that it could happen.
Right, I mean, I just think if it won't be built on, it would affect the amount of money we potentially sell.
You know, I thought that was the case as well for a client who recently acquired some property that's in the floodplain, but the appraiser valued it at like close to 10 grand an acre. That's like, didn't see that one coming. But anyway, so,
We sell these.
you know, but anyway, does that sound like reasonable? Does that sound like a reasonable course of action? Brock can maybe talk to a realtor about the properties that we believe that we own as to tackle this list.
Absolutely, yeah.
Great place to start. Well, the other members do.
How do you feel, where?
So which, is that like these 12 properties?
The ones that it
Or-
is the village owning outright, no restrictions.
Potentially be built on.
Properties that can be built on again, so yeah.
So that's just the 12?
That's, yes,
Okay.
13, whatever that 13 removed properties that can be built on again. Focusing on those for.
Chair,
Yeah, that sounds great.
I think 245 Main Street, that's not owned by the village, I don't think.
We'll update that list, Rob.
I know, but isn't that owned by the, Jim Mead? Didn't he buy that lot next to Pink Prison? We don't,
Yeah.
There's parking on it now.
we don't own that.
Yeah, he does on that, yeah.
Right, we don't own that. So some of these I don't think we even own.
Yeah, so we gotta update the list.
We're working on it, all right.
People are doing that all over the country.
Okay.
Rusty, you feel okay about that?
No comment.
Doing all right?
Yeah, I mean, properties that are, can be built on or can be used and that we own that are not green space, it's silly for us to just keep hanging on to it. Oh, so what we can sell.
Let's get a better updated list. I think some of those we don't.
So, yeah.
Okay. Doesn't much sound like it's urgent. We're working.
So, what about these bills? Should we pay them?
We should.
I had a couple questions about bills.
Go ahead.
Why do we have 4 Amazon Prime accounts? Is it one for every department or
For what?
4 Amazon Prime accounts?
Yeah, probably different. But yeah,
You can't just pull them all and deliver here?
they all get.
So then that seems stupid to have 4 accounts.
No, you have to budget. You have
I
to get
understand
charged
that,
to the
but-
different departments.
Right.
That's a $500 waste of taxpayer dollars if we don't have 4 accounts. Why can't they all just use one and have it mailed here? Either way, they're billing from their own credit cards.
Let me look into that.
It's a good question.
Then the other one I had is, what are we using an Easy Pass for? Where do we even use that? That was $1,300.
Who's that? Yeah, who owns that?
It doesn't,
Who
it
goes-
just says
Who goes there?
13.
I
I
don't
wondered
know.
that much too.
Easy Pass for us doesn't cost, it doesn't cost anything to have it,
Yeah.
a $20 deposit, so somebody's using it to go someplace.
Yeah, because there was
Yeah,
a $1,300 check going out. Then,
Was that for the
On
ambulance?
first,
I don't know, it just says Easy Pass.
able to.
The ambulance is the only thing I can think of that ever went out of town for a great distance and that we might have.
Well, some part.
I would hope that bringing that to Jersey did not cost us $1,300.
Yeah, that's a lot of,
So,
lot of
I'm just
tolls
curious
there,
as to with the
$1,300.
flashlight, Who's
Yeah.
responsible for this?
we'll look into that too.
And my last one was the fairgrounds water. It was $1,400 for the month of June. Why?
How much was it?
$1,400, $1,449.31.
The pool?
The pool.
The pool is on its own, it says. The pool had its own bill.
Separate.
I wonder if we got a leak out there somewhere, if something is awry. I thought maybe it could sign with the fair, but it was before. the fair.
Yeah,
No,
that's
it's
water
not
fair.
fair.
Wow.
Because I know they use water to hose down the dirt.
It was up to July 28th, I believe.
Didn't they have a tanker
Was
there?
there a big leak?
Charles, didn't they have the tanker?
Yeah, but that was.
Yeah, that was during the
that was
fair.
in
This is
there.
before the
This is-
fair.
$1,400.
These are the dates before.
For fairgrounds that really aren't in use.
There was a leak last year.
I would hope the OLA would be able to help us and figure out where the leak is. They must know where the water is surplus.
Okay, so it's not due to the fair, and who are you gonna report that to?
And the bathroom wasn't open
Well, I would-
so it wasn't, yeah.
I'm assuming we have those on-off faucets, they wouldn't just be running all day. I haven't been in
Yeah.
there.
Jerry, toilet's been running for 3 years.
Shake the handle.
So with those three things omitted from
Okay.
the bill, should we pay the rest of the bills? And look into that?
I move that we pay the rest of the bills, with the exception of those 3 items.
Okay, we'll look into that right now. Good catch.
I'll second that.
Any discussion further? Rusty,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Fran,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Yes. All right. What about the approval of July's treasury reports?
I
Second.
Any questions? Discussion?
That's all the money we got?
No, it looked good to me. Thank you.
Terry,
Yes.
Rusty,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Yes, Ron. Those minutes, August 4th.
I've moved we approve the minutes with the addition of my trustee report.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion?
Just help me with the additional one.
Like, it wasn't included, so I just want to put get my,
When you give a trustee report, you want that entire report to be in the minutes every time?
well,
No, I'm just asking
even-
how we do this.
just even mentioned in the minutes, like that I gave a report, whether or not I have a typed written report that day. It would be good if I, like, get recorded that I, gave a report just like everybody else. Because I often just get excluded, like I didn't say anything at all.
I'm just asking what you want.
I leave yours out because yours are so detailed. I can't paraphrase what you say, so you have to send what you're telling me to put in the report. Yeah, I'm not a stenographer.
But sometimes I don't have a report, I just talk. And, another, most other trustees don't have reports at all that are typewritten. But they do get them included anyway, and so.
Just to help maybe clarify.
Now, let me make a suggestion. If you want something from your trustee report in the minutes, give that in writing to Rodney to put in the minutes. Otherwise, if you just want to talk, do that. This is one way to do it. If you want something in there, put it in writing
She
from.
normally does give me.
Okay, well,
Yeah, but sometimes it would be nice if you just jotted down the basics of what I was saying and included it,
Laura,
because you do it for everybody else.
It doesn't work that way.
Because when a reporter, you give the minutes to a reporter and then they put it in the news and nothing I say gets in there because it's not included, it doesn't ever get included in the minutes. Until,
You want news?
Yeah.
I'll make sure you're in the news. Laura said this.
Yeah, you're gonna get in the newspaper and you're not gonna like it.
So, where we approve a grant thing, or there's stuff, and then it just never gets put into the minutes. And it's part of stuff that happened during the meeting, so it would be good if it if you
But it
sort of
always gets in the minute.
didn't
As soon
include
as
me.
you supply it.
Yeah, we get notified of the minutes usually more than a week ahead of time.
Yeah.
And you
If
can
there's something not in it.
write down and send it in to get put in.
Right, no, you just have so much that I worked out that you just give me what you want, I'll put it in the whole thing. You have more than one thing, you don't just say I in the bathroom, you just say the whole thing. I just want that to be in the minutes, in your words, that's all. Like Rusty's gonna email his company day now.
Yeah.
Keep holding your breath for that one.
I'm waiting for that.
I think I've given 3 lines of trustee report ever.
All right, so that's duly noted. So
what do you want to do about approving these minutes?
Yeah.
Approve them, and I'll just send my report and it'll get included, and then they're approved.
I put a note.
I still say.
Duly noted.
Yeah.
Any more discussion on that?
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, last little piece.
Okay.
I would kind of appreciate if you would do that ahead of time, because right now we're gonna vote to approve a minute that you're gonna put in later that we don't get to see and know if it's accurate or real or not. So I kind of like to not generally do that, approve it like that. And yes, I'm ready.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying that's not
No,
a
you got a
best
good point.
process.
Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Yes from me. All righty then. Moving on to the trustee reports. Rusty?
Yeah, I don't have a trustee report. And I want every word of it in there.
Gussie Fuller has no.
Ron?
Yeah, nothing.
Laura?
Okay, I do have one. We need to release the solar RFP for a third round. So I'm going to do that this week. And this time we're going to do the good faith efforts for meeting the MWBE requirements for state funded projects. So we'll have a 2-week or 15-day period for it to receive the bids. And so it's just for finding a contractor to install the solar array on the rooftop next door. And we, the village completed actions in the Climate Energy Communities grant program to get the grant money for this. So it's a fully funded project that will get installed, and then we just save on all the electricity costs that we do.
So do you want all that in the
No.
minutes? Okay.
I'll send this in.
That's all I asked.
I sent the floodway structure inventory to DPW and Code and the consultants for the CRS grant. I updated the call for art for the art park, or for the art on North Ave, but we're still waiting on Hunt to send over some language for some of the stuff, and we're looking for the graphics for it, for like the site plan of the area. So I contacted Pat Gavin, and he talked to Don Middendorf from Middendorf Contracting, and they're gonna do some new drone photos of the site now that the steamer house is completed and all the landscaping has changed that area. So we'll have updated photos for us to put on, on our website with the RFP, so people can get a good look at like what the property looks like now, and the space will like indicate on it the space that we would like the art to be at, and that's along the North Avenue side strip of the sidewalk. There's an embankment slope, so we'd like to direct people to find public art to attract tourism and beautification. I submitted the highway work permit application for the road signs for the reducing the traffic noise. And I'm just waiting for the office to send the proof of insurance and workers' comp and disability papers. So I'm hoping they'll send them. And then the village workers would install the signs, the posts, and the breakaway pieces. Where we won't be allowed to put them on the existing truck route signs.
Well, they've told us we cannot put them on those signs.
Yeah,
Seems wasteful.
yeah,
Those signs are perfect.
yeah. I thought it would save, it was like the perfect spot because truck drivers would already have their attention drawn to like the truck route sign and get all the information they needed. But we'll have to
They're right at the end, sorry to interrupt your thing. They're right at the entrance. We looked that over. They're right at every single entrance. They're right at the village line. Thank you, State.
And then I've been voluntarily working my CFM services. And so I've been working on the public information program draft and the substantial damage plan template for the village. And so that's the public information program is we got a grant to do education and outreach about the floodplain and the that you need building permits and how to do it. And so this is a program that we would give out that information and it's like a sort of a continuing, like there's a small committee that would form. They would, at first they'd meet like maybe once every month for like 3 or 4 months and then to form the plan. And then once a year after that, they would review the, just go over the plan and review the parts like for after an event. And then for the substantial damage plan, it's you put it together before an event, so that way you're prepared when an event happens. So you have like all the things that you would put on people's doors, like because everybody wants to get back into their homes right away and see what happens, but like we have to inspect them, and so you give notice of like if structures not able, if it's sustained so much damage that it's not able to be entered, we have to go through and notice that. And also, if it has received some damage, help them know that, and then help them know the code and the ways that you can safely rebuild within the law.
When you say we, is that the code and DPW is responsible for putting these notices out and so on?
Yep, yeah, so.
Because FEMA is not going to be doing anything.
Well, we do it, no matter what size the storm is or event. Like if you have a fire on your house, we would do it. Or if it's a, small, like, any event, like it's just code enforcement and building codes and safety of people and as part of it. And then there is the flood. Flood is part of it, but like it's just one type of disaster that can affect your home. So yeah, it's just it gets us prepped, and that's it for me.
Thank you. Terry?
We had an OHPC meeting. We had one application, but the homeowner was not able to come, so we'll come back next month. And Fran and I had some meetings with residents about chickens, which went very well, I thought. And we just continue to make efforts forward. That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Fran?
I met with Nate. We've been, the cemetery committee has been working on a proposal for asking the village to reopen sales of plots in the cemetery. And so working at organizing that with the cemetery committee, and Nate helped us as far as what's required with the state, and he contacted some people, so it's in the process.
So?
That's it.
Oh, thank you.
That's it.
Charles,
All
as
right.
usual, I always add it
okay.
later that I didn't have a report. The chicken people are gonna love this. It would appear that if you wanna have a chicken coop and any related things with it, it will have to be floodplain, it will have to have flood vents, it will have to have all the flood stuff the bathroom had. They're gonna love this.
Well, that doesn't really apply to all.
I don't say that it's for sure.
It doesn't actually.
There are people too that have chickens that don't live in a floodplain. So,
Those people won't have to have it.
correct. Just so you know. Yep.
I didn't know that. I didn't know the people in Halsted didn't have to have it.
They do not.
I
They
did
don't
I did
let
not
us there.
understand that.
Thank goodness. Because that would have been ugly.
No. I'm just saying that the people on Turtle Town and the flats and stuff are not gonna like finding out what might be coming for them on this stuff, because boy, no matter what good deed we try to do,
Yeah, no,
it's a.
no matter what we do, there's gonna be complaints about it. So
Mhm.
we know that. We just have
Nope,
to
just-
steel our
Those are the territory.
backbone up and do it.
Actually, I did have a question. Why are we on our third round for the solar stuff? Is something not coming back or?
No, so there's, since like 1988, there's laws in New York State that say when you're dealing with state, grant contract money, that you have to, do 15%.
Right, I'm aware of the WMBA,
15%
so have we not
minority.
done that in the previous two times, or did somebody
So-
drop the ball?
Apparently we did.
So, yeah, so we just listed in the document that we have that and do that. But apparently, there's an actual system where, like, I have to go on the,
Kind of like a mini bid for a truck?
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
so I gotta go on this, system, and I have to look up all of the contractors that would be willing to serve our area, and then email or contact them each directly.
Prove
And
just,
prove that I did due diligence, good faith for every single one there is, and do it in good time. Yeah.
That, my understanding is generally those are requirements for the contractor themselves to demonstrate that they've done their due diligence in attempting
they
to
don't know we're looking at.
set aside a portion of their proposal price.
So they can do this that way, but we had to issue it showing good faith efforts, that we tried to show it to everybody who is eligible.
Fine, I was just curious as to why it's a third time. I thought maybe people weren't responding.
No, we got responses, but like so if we don't show that we put in good faith efforts and timestamp that we did it like way early when we set out the RFP, not like at the end, we would lose 30% of the grant money. So like if we accepted those bids that we got in the first two rounds, later on, we would have gotten about 30% of the money out of the funds, and that would have really affected our project. For the solar, it's like just under 188.
Okay, so we would have lost $50,000.
Yeah, so I don't wanna lose anything, so I just wanna do it again and see what comes out. But really, it's because I didn't take the online webinar until at the end of the second, it was like closing the second round of the RFP bids. And that's when I found out that I had to do all of it and timestamp it.
We have to do the same thing for the art hall?
Yeah, we do for the DRI, but somebody.
That should be something
might
that's
do it.
Okay. All right, that's all, I was just curious, thank you.
So
To
somebody.
follow up on that, just a quick second, I'll go along. So did we get us the second round, did we get bids back?
Yeah, we got 3.
And were they in the range of what we're trying to do and et cetera?
Yeah.
Just checking things, that's all I needed to know.
Yeah, and everything's in the range because we have a limited set amount of funds, and we're just asking them, what can you do for our money?
I do have a small portion of report. First of all, I want to apologize for not having all the information about this armchair revival. I mean, other than what I knew was going to happen on that day, I guess me dealing with my eye surgery this past month, I can honestly say I was blindsided by the But, I multitask. I let Mike know what's going on about next week's meeting on the 25th at 7. Also send up a flare to Pastor Jay, and I will have OPD. If you can please mention it to Chief Kennedy, Senate Representative, to find out exactly what is going to be entailed with
Yeah,
this.
he's gonna wanna know.
He's gonna wanna
details
know.
Before he, when we have these various parade permits, mascot
I
permits,
totally
they're supposed to
understand.
be
That's
signed
why.
off on by the chief. And
Yeah.
he doesn't like to do that without knowing.
I'd be
I
surprised if
totally
he
get it.
doesn't know, because he goes to church.
You would thought
Yeah.
with Jay, he does know.
And also fire department and EMS. I'll have them all at this meeting. So
And Mike's still gonna be away, so
we'll figure it out.
others gotta do
It'll be
it.
on Zoom or something.
He's on Zoom now, he's still ignoring us.
Smart move.
All right, so that's all I got to say about that.
Charles, I want to thank you for your humor with the egg carton and the Kentucky Fried Chicken, because that made my day. I was like, thank you, because although we want to be serious about it, I do think coming
I think it
in
brought
with
the
a good
temperature down
attitude
because
is
they-
really good, so thank you.
I knew it was like us against the world, and that's what I figured on social media. It was like, what's going on? They came here, it was like, the only thing that was missing was the torches.
Yeah, and you needed to mellow them out.
No, I think it was good. I just think it's like we're trying to talk with people as much as we can, and I think, showing that we have a humorous side too is not a bad thing, right? Is that a good thing? Kind of.
The downside of social
Would have been better.
So,
if
Yeah, a lot of people like to.
Yeah, so Terry, you didn't,
A
yeah, I
lot
was
of
gonna
people like
say,
to
Terry, you
take
didn't bring
social
snacks.
media
I expected
the
chicken.
word.
I just thought, no, I just thought,
It's on the free on the way, so we never talk about banning anything.
Okay.
no, we're not.
So with that, public comment, final word, like Terry Springer?
I just want to say thank you for listening to everybody about the whole chicken issue. I'm Andrea's neighbor, and we have a whole lot going on up in that neighborhood, and I think honestly, there's bigger fish to fry than chickens.
Chicken to fry.
So,
Was that your name, Andrea's neighbor, is that your name?
no, my name is Steph Masterson.
Steph Masters?
Yeah.
Thank you, Steph.
And I know it's been like a real heated thing up in you could feel the tension in our development, and I think, just having it clearly outlined, this is what the expectations are if you own animals, or however you choose to proceed with that, I think, they aren't unruly people, they're just very passionate, and
No,
I can tell you that, without my neighbor, I have an autistic son, and there's some days where he will only eat Andrea's eggs. And, I can see both sides of the concern, but I just appreciate you guys taking the time to just be very matter of fact about it, not letting feelings get involved, and just explaining, hey, this is what we have right now, and we want everybody to be happy. So we're gonna try to all work together as a village to bring the village back together over such a silly topic, but it is to some and it isn't to others. So I appreciate you taking your time and a good chunk of the time tonight to kind of just address the feelings and all the stuff boiling under there. I think it's a great start, and I just really appreciate it.
This is actually a much shorter meeting than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, I know. I told my husband, he's been with my kids all day. I'm like, God, I don't know if I'm gonna be home tonight.
Charles did well because he kind of let folks know, if you, we know that you all came to say it, but if you all each say the same thing, that's gonna take too long. So he did well with that.
He did. It was pretty. It was great. It was
Thank you very much. Happy to have a week.
Everybody handled it so well.
And
Thank you for your support.
Mike DeMarty, what do you got?
All right, the property I was talking about on Fox Street is 98 Fox. I looked it up on the county record. Currently got an assessment with the county for taxes, $21,300. And they're showing a full market value of $40,766. It's not gonna sell for that.
That was probably when there was building on it.
Was that 98 Fox?
98 Fox.
So we have that down as forever green property, so we can't
Well, that's on our sheet, but doesn't mean we're right.
We're
Okay.
we're looking at all.
So-
We're gonna find
We're
it.
gonna make a real
Okay.
list.
Yeah, but that's a good one. Yep, no, I get you. All right.
That's a good size road.
It did have a 3-family on it. That was bought at the county auction by the land bank.
Oh, okay, the land bank.
The land bank bought it, the village split the cost, tearing it down, and then they gave it to the village.
I drove there dancing, Mike.
I know, you see that?
No, that thing got in my way.
I'm gonna hit
You
the
know.
praise.
I can dance now, the hip stuff, but not very well.
Is that it, Mike? Anything more?
No, that's it.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Outstanding. Thank you, everyone, for your attendance and your support. Mike, if you're still out there in Blue Land,
Yeah, stay away from the rip currents.
Yeah, don't be out there.
watch out for alligators.
He's not that far.